That's the title. There's a story to it. One of these days, I'll tell everybody what the story is, but how I got that title. So, Bob, I want to introduce you to Jane Sanders. She's my co-host today. Bob Brocker is what's your title, Bob?
I'm the board president.
Board president.
Yeah.
Of an organization called AgeWise Colorado. So I met Bob a few months ago, and we started talking. I was introduced to him from one of our mutual friends, and we got to talking about our organizations, and we started realizing that, you know what, there's some synchronicity going on here, that maybe we can be doing something together. But Bob, I would like you to share with all of us, and what is AgeWise Colorado?
AgeWise Colorado is a information and resource site for aimed primarily at the sandwich generation, but also at the older adults themselves. It's a safe place for people to go and learn about aging related issues, and there are a wide variety of those, as you all know, and also to find vetted resources that will help people. And examples could be things like, in-home care, estate planning, home modifications. It's a long list. And we came up with this idea because we were noticing that there was no such place for people to go.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can go on the internet, of course, and find a variety of pieces of information and resources, but some of those are really good and some are not so good. So how do you sort that out when you're in a situation where you really need to know? And so that's how we came up with the idea, and we decided to focus on Colorado, become a nonprofit. And we got some funding from the Next 50 initiative to help us get started. So that's how we got our website built. And we're now doing social media marketing to let more people know about us. And we're very actively soliciting more participating providers. Mm-hmm. And we do ask for a small suggested annual contribution to be one of our listed providers. Although this year, we're not asking for anything really. So that's the story.
Yeah. Your resource directory is really impressive, and you do vet your providers. So there are people you can trust in it. Udefine Wellness is in his provider network, just so you guys know. Right. And you and I got to talking about the struggle of finding your resources. I don't raise your hand if you've been the caregiver for a parent. I have. It took my mother-in-law, my husband, and it took three of us to be the caregiver for my father-in-law when he, at the end of his life, when he was dealing with Alzheimer's, and we kept him at home. And it was before the internet, it wasn't before the internet. It was in the early days of the internet. It was really hard to find good resources, and you didn't know where to turn. But, we've talked to people just recently in the past couple of years who have had the same struggles, even in this day and age of the internet. So to have a resource like AgeWise Colorado you can go to is just huge. I thank you for what you're putting out there in the world. I think it's really important. And people who are outside of Colorado can still find resources, even though there's, you're focused on Colorado.
Well, of course. I mean, yeah, we're out there on the internet, so anybody can find us, even if you're in Saudi Arabia, I suppose. But the other thing that we're doing, and I think Denise may have mentioned this earlier, but we have an event coming up on the 16th of September, working with Denise, and it's focused on caring for the caregiver. And so we have 3 panels, and there it is right there. So
there you go.
Flash that up there. We're still interested in anybody who's interested in being a sponsor for the event, but that's not why I'm here to ask for sponsors. I'm just mentioning it. And we had this, Denise actually found this drawing at the top. And we contacted the artist and had some modifications made. So that's what you see there now. And I've actually trademarked the illustration with the state, because when we talked to the artist, she said, well, you know, people are just grabbing this and using it, and, you know, I'm not authorizing that. So we thought, well, let's make an attempt here at least to prevent that from happening as much as we possibly can in the days of grabbing things off the internet. So, you know, and so part of what we want to do with AgeWise, besides just having a site, is to have educational, informational events on a variety of topics that we cover through our website, and to continue to do that on into the future. And so we're growing pretty quickly. We're up to about 50 providers right now, and we're planning to double that in the month of September. We recently, the Alzheimer's Association recently joined us. I think we're going to have T-Mobile Sprint joining us very soon as well. So we've talked to some, you know, very large organizations as well as the very small.
Yeah, and I just shared the event information for the September 16th event. It's free, guys. It's a 2-hour event, 3 panels, as Robert mentioned. One panel will be for technology resources, because there's a ton of technology that's out there, and we've got a good panel for that. We also have one for nonprofits and respite care, and a variety of people we will be having on there, from LifeSpark Cancer Resources to Alzheimer's Association, and the other individual that we have is with Care Partners Resource and Consulting. And then Unifying Wellness is bringing a couple of our providers to talk about the importance of receiving care when you are a caregiver. You know, we've been talking about that with human resources this morning, is how important it is for your own self-care when you're caring for so many people on your staff. Well, it's the same holds true. And one of the reasons why this is really important and why we wanted it on this track is, as human resource professionals, you have people on your team who are dealing with parenting their parents. And this is a wonderful resource for you to introduce them to come to it. We will be recording it. The recording will be available after the event, but the best thing is to always be there live so that you can ask questions as you're going forward. Anything else you want to add, Bob? Any questions you have, Jane?
No, I don't have any questions, because it was very clear and I think very profound. So thank you, Bob, for getting this going. It's much needed.
Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate the invitation and the opportunity to speak to you all today. And you know, just go to our site, take a look, see if there's any interest, and spread it around to people that you know, because you know, we're adding content every month, 2 to 4 new pieces of content every month. And we're going to continue to do that. And we're going to continue to do our social media marketing, which I have had to learn a lot more about since this whole thing got started. So anyway, but thanks once again. And I'll shut up now. So.
No, thanks for being here. And your website is agewisecolorado.org, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm putting it in the chat box, folks. So Bob, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you very much. And I've seen a ton of emails come through from you in the last couple of days. It seems like I'll get to them after this event.
No, I totally get that, Denise. Thanks. And thank you very much for all your help. It's much appreciated.
My pleasure to do it. You know, one thing I didn't say, guys, we are, you know, Bob mentioned sponsorships. We are accepting sponsor dollars for this event. It's fantastic. And I'm going to tell you one thing, 100% of sponsor dollars are going to AgeWise Colorado. They are not coming to Unifying Wellness. We are donating our time and resources because we like supporting nonprofits in our communities. And this is the one that we are supporting right now with our time and our efforts. And no, I have not created